damage dealer heavy composition. Now, don't get ahead of yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
We're not going back
They're
to
still
Hollywood.
in spawn. I'm going to jump in now. Toronto on the defense. So their lineup is all but locked in. So this shouldn't surprise you at all. However, the Valiant might give us something a little bit spicy here. Custer's still in the lineup, mind you, so no sub out. He is still alive. I see you, that guy on Twitter who said he'd get a tattoo of Custer stayed in for 4 maps. You better think of some designs, my dude.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, look, Australians like to make ridiculous bets. Also, that's where the shoey came from, so you can kind of see why.
All right, so we have the Valiant running Reaper. So this is something we saw in our previous match with the Spark in the London Spitfire. The issue that they had in their match is the Reaper didn't work. Your Zarya player is the one who is playing the Reaper. You have a Zarya out on the field. Usually your Reaper player cannot play Mica.
That's nasty.
You're
Look
stuck.
at that. Perfect
Yeah.
push there. Great move. The Valiant actually somehow able to regroup with Kareem. I am darkness. I am the shadow. I am standing on the point and waiting for them to come to me now. Can't quite get close enough with the Reaper. Sitting in the corner, but he's been spotted out. Look at him just getting donked by orbs coming in from aid.
I do feel like this is a better way to play Reaper than we saw previously, though. You put him on the point, you force the Defiant to come into the Reaper. As you're getting very close with the Valiant to taking this, it's going to force the Toronto Defiant to get on the point, and this is where Reaper can start doing tons of damage.
But you can see the weakness of the Winston-based 3-3 comp against what a right hand can put out until Yakpung walks into the back corner. Destroys Custer, all supports are down for the Valiant, but Kareem and Space, Fake were all standing. Close fight. I don't think Roki can do too much about it. I'd love to see a top down to that one, sort of slowed down. The fight looked like it could go against the Valiant, but the first pick's was so important, Matt. Getting rid of Stella, great start.
Yeah, I mean, you had Kareem and Space both putting down, above 20% of the overall team damage during that one. Actually, they almost come, they're more than 50% of team damage there in that first fight. So you can see that the Zarya putting down the damage, the Reaper that time paying off for the offensive team. As you're able to get Reaper on the point, force the Winston down, start to chunk him down. Other players have to play a little bit out of position to try and save him. That's where you can make an impact.
Oh, wow. They try and make the superhero entrance, the Valiant coming down from the high ground. They walk into a graviton surge here. Agility's trying to keep them up and standing. They're not so far away that the self-destruct actually doesn't really find anyone. Yakpung again, he wants to ride the lightning. He wants to go deep. Space will punish him for pushing that far, but the Valiant are actually positioned so far away from the point after the fight, they have to regroup anyway. Kareem, he is the edge, he is the knight, he's getting the heck out of there.
They back out here when the rally comes through. So, okay, they're going to solo grab here. They're going to get Stellar.
Yeah, that was Space sort of coming up with that decision on the fly. Just an opportunistic grab. It didn't work out. Yakpung is low, though, and the Valley want to keep committing now. Transcendence coming out to answer the Death Blossom, so Kareem is just sort of trying to do his breakdance routine, and no one really seems bothered by it. Kareem stunned up. The worst thing that can happen to a Reaper when he's trying to do damage, and I think that'll precipitate a switch for him if this fight ends in favor of the Defiant. So far, it's a good start. 6v5, 8 chilling on the backside, and that's going to be the Transcendence here from over the top. The damage is forthcoming.
So now we'll get to see Kareem play Diva.
Yeah.
Nope, we're going to go over to Roadhog here. So this is kind of the issue that you get though is Izzyaki staying alive here. Not intending to stay alive, finally falls, but I know, okay, so Kareem actually switches over to Zarya now. Space will switch over to Diva. You give up some ult charge there, but you're kind of playing the long game if you're the Valiant. Izzyaki will switch now and go over to Xin. So mirror comes on both sides. Because of the late switches here with some of the players from the Valiant, you're probably looking at 1 or 2 pushes where Toronto's going to use some ultimates. The Valiant just kind of die really quick, and then the fights will start to come.
Ooh. Fight pushes up. That was a very efficient fire strike from Yakpung there. He's ready to shatter as well. The Valiant are noticed as they rotate across here. There's enough sort of plexiglass for the Defiant to see their positioning.
If the Valiant can trade their shatter though for, let's say, like shatter rally, shatter trance, like 1 or 2 ultimates, then they disengage, they come back, you can start to swing the ultimate economy in your favor. That's when you have a good opportunity to close out this first part of the map.
So Fate was trying to bait a big commitment on him at that time. That's the rally, that's the shatter. So we get the baiting out here. The Valiant still dropping his fight, but again, yes, they go down. They're going to give some ult percent over. But Ivy was getting most of those kills. He already had his grab, so it's not like they're feeding a ton of ultimate advantage across. Still, they probably would have wanted to be able to get out alive.
Is Space gets demeched here, so we'll see if he decides to go back to the spawn switch. Yep, now he'll go back to D.Va, as you did have the Valiant get a tick.
Yeah, you got a tick.
Previously, early on in the push where we saw the nano boost and the Reaper come out. So
you have a net positive ult exchange there as well for the Valiant. Defiant looking just fundamentally very solid. Very, very solid. Hard to find a mistake here. Yakpung as well. Look at him stay alive. Oh my god, Yakpung did so well to stay up there. Self-destruct over the top. That's 2 for Envy.
Great charge.
Yep. Envy sets him up. Yakpung knocks him down. And he gets all the glory on the kill feed, of course. I'm sure D.Va players love that.
You're actually, though, close to what the Valiant wanted. I mean, look, we were talking before. Toronto had like all 6 ultimates. How do you dwindle some of this down? Now, when you start to look, you have Sound Barrier, you have Rally. You're going to get very close to Grab here. This is a fight where you can see the Valiant take a little bit more seriously, one that they have a realistic chance of winning and trying to take point B.
So let's see what that looks like. Let's see what that bigger commitment, how that manifests here in the way that they move and approach the fight. So again, they drop off the high ground. They're trying to outmaneuver and quickly change sides, but the Defiant have seen through this pretty much every single time. And they are pushing Yakpung back. He tries to stifle some of this aggression with an Earth Shatter, but doesn't find any connection there. His shield is broken. Yakpung wants to be aggressive, but he's not close enough to get damage from that, so he has to hide. Fate, however, has a shield, a Zarya bubble, and then his own shield. So we can cycle between the two of them, and there's a sound barrier. This is what a real commitment looks like from the Los Angeles Valiant. No, they're not on one knee with a ring. They're using all the support ultimates. Izayaki has a chance to use that Transcendence if required. He wants to hold it just in case. Save it for the next round. Pops it at the end, and the Valiant get over the line. Happy with that one. Slowed down greatly. The Defiant are very good at levying high fines and tolls for Valiant's progress so far. We'll see if the Defiant can match that speed. Run us through those final moments there of the attack for the Valiant, Matt. They get the round done with a bit of time to spare, just not a whole lot.
You know, they played the ultimate economy game perfectly there towards the end. It was a lot of what we were talking about. You know, they went in for those first 2 pushes. They knew they didn't have any ultimates. They got some ultimates out from Toronto. I mean, best case would have been like if Fate uses that Shatter at the end and then Roki invests Sound Barrier. That would have been really good for the Valiant. But they end up working down the ultimates in their favor. And it was something that Wolf mentioned on the pre-game show, like, oh, maybe like, there was a decision with the supports, like who can track ultimates in this meta better. You saw right there from the Valiant, that was great. They knew exactly what Toronto had.
But don't forget, we did see Custer and Izayaki ult over the top of each other prior in this series, so it's not a perfect
Not all
art.
great.
Well, we want to highlight the good things, as well as,
it's about positivity.
Be realistic. Just like my parents were when they told me that I couldn't be a spaceman. Oh,
but you still tried.
Yeah.
And you failed, but it's okay.
Yeah, that still hurts. Fate on the low ground here, bubble up. All right, so Yakpung's just staying in that gap to make sure everyone gets across safely. He's not worried too much about Envy getting there. He's got boosters in the defense matrix. Oh, that's not ideal. Fate knocked down. He can jump up pretty quickly, but there is a cooldown on the rocket jump. He gets there anyway. Agility's so low. Roki! Damn, he just went straight in on quite the mission now. He gets punished for that aggression, but we like a little bit of spicy aggro Lucio play. He almost found a pick.
He's watching too many Neptuno VODs.
Oh dear, 8 there. Space this time again. Attacking sort of perpendicular to the rest of the Valiant, not always being at the front. I mean, he's a Winston. He's not a Reinhardt. He can't just stand there with a shield, but you see what he did there? He found his opportunity. And he took down the Zenyatta, much in the same way that Space tried to get that one-man grab.
Yeah, are we about to witness the patented outside push into the Primal Rage? I feel like we've seen so many teams do this.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing you can do. You can't slow yourself down like that mid-air. Okay, they're going to try it.
Let's go outside.
Fate's like, do I get some of that B-roll? No, they're pushing up the stairs. Okay, rally, both sides. Valiant with the second rally there. Reinhardt charge, Yakpung so low down the stairs, he catches Fate and he stayed alive. Fate quickly Primal Rage though. both tanks lucky to be alive. And that one there, that self-destruct, that's just a wet blanket being thrown on the fight for a bit of a reset. Both teams get to breathe. And drop in did Fate. Didn't get anything done there. Earthshatter comes out. No one really hit by that one at all. Izayaki now with the Transcendence. So the Valiant feel pretty good about this if they can stay together in the chaos of the fight. Graviton Surge, self-destruct. Nyakpong again still alive. I don't know how he's done it, but with Space and Fate missing, the Defiant finally managed to gouge out some results. It's like getting blood from a stone, but they get there either way.
You know, in these close quarter brawly fights, this is where the Valiant miss the damage that Reinhardt provides. Just being able to swing in those close quarters, just a lot more damage than Winston. And that's really kind of the difference when you have these crazy fights, grabs from either side.
So it's almost like Fate forgot that he was not playing the protracted fight main tank. He was playing the get in, get out.
Okay. But when you're taking the fight in those close quarters, you have to brawl. There's no option. You can't run away.
Well, Fate is no coward. We know that. It's a matter of record by now. Very quick push here. The Defiant want to start this one off as quickly as they can. They're cognizant of the sort of time bank difference that exists right now. But a sound barrier comes out from the Valiant. They do not want to move an inch. Agilities, shields up. Fate also has his. So the Valiant able to escape that one, but they are split for the time being. They're going to try and reconverge around Fate. He's a little bit low. Ivy really trying to force the issue now with the Graviton Surge. Izayaki relieved that he had the Transcendence in time for that one. No casualties yet in this fight. Nyakpong Earthshatter, he had a Kareem knocked down, but it grabbed straight away to make sure he couldn't follow up. Custard takes a hammer swing and has to back away for just a moment, but there's the picks. And that's what the Valiant really needed to give themselves a little bit of space. Man, we see so many of these ultimates commit, these fights where like there's 10 ultimates thrown in and no kills.
Well, I mean, there's just a ton of healing. And then when you have two really strong defensive ultimates with Lucio's Sound Barrier and then Zenyatta's Transcendence. Rally also provides armor, for a period of time, also very strong. And then you just have the HP pool of these tanks. It's so difficult to just chunk them down.
Again, the Defiant know they're ahead on time still. And want to start these fights off quickly as long as they can sort of do it properly and not get anyone picked off in their own rush. The Valiant respect this, to back it up. You can see just the cogs turning in both these teams' brains as they try and get pole position on one another. Here's a push across the point, but a quick bubble given to Fate. That got burst very fast, but it'll mean Kareem's putting out a lot of damage right now. Space is looking to sit back and try and eat something, set up this combo now, but everyone's behind the pole. The self-destruct, oh, it's perfect! They got knocked out of the way! That is what you need to see, especially if the enemy team are gravitoned in a less than ideal location, Matt.
It's the curse. You're like, oh, nothing's going to happen. They're all behind the pole. And then as you say it, they just all come flying.
Big boop.
Around the one side as the boop knocks everybody into the self-destruct. And there's something with Toronto that's quite interesting. Now, I thought maybe in the previous push, they just kind of walk up to Fate and get really aggressive on them because they want to try and force Kareem's bubble out early and then back up a little bit. They do the same thing last time, and then they back up. I wonder what's the idea. So they use their bubble early to get out. You see Kareem uses his right away. Now you can play a little bit passively here if you're Toronto. Let's see if they engage really hard into Fate.
Graviton Surge from Ivy, but he's not very charged up. It won't matter. There's a Transcendence anyway. What's the setup like? The charge was there from Nyakpong. They tried to get Valley from the self-destruct, but it just wasn't going to be happening. Fate tries to charge 8 out of the way so the rest of his team can work down the Toronto Defiant players. Space's mech will be removed, but it's just a parting gift as the Defiant have to back off, at least for the time being, and risk walking into a grab from Kareem. There it is! He lays it down, and it'll be an easy clean.
And they end up using Rally, even though they know they have the Graviton Surge coming. I wonder if Toronto maybe tried to bait that out. Where, like, you had only 4 players there. Maybe they thought that they were going to come back the Valiant after they use Rally, because why use Rally just to kind of die? But if you get them to use Grab, you feel pretty good about kind of burning through that Rally. As now Ivy will have an advantage here in terms of getting to this Graviton Surge. You're going to have both Transcendence and Sound Barrier here. So now, like how the Valiant kind of turned the tides in terms of ultimate economy in their favor, Toronto has a little bit of a lead coming to this next fight.
Window here where the Defiant don't have those support ults and the Valiant have Transcendence, so they need to do something with it. The Earthshatter,
nothing
from Fate, trying to force the issue there. Nyakpong is the only ultimate right now for the Defiant, but they're about to switch on. You see those numbers, 98, 99. The Defiant now have all the tools that they need, but they've just fallen behind the Valiant in time bank. So even if they finish right now, they won't be in the lead. And Izzyaki, oh, you know his trigger finger's itchy, but it's too slow! Fate gets taken down by Ivy. He tries to get there.
Yeah, and they use the Graviton Surge here towards the end of the Transcendence, trying to pick up some kills. Kareem gets his Graviton Surge, throws it down. All the support ultimates here used for Toronto.
Boop there from Custer definitely disperses the Defiant across the point, but there's not enough resistance currently from the Valiant to actually punish that one. Fate charges headlong into Yakpung. It's a mutual knockdown. But the Defiant maintains able to stay standing at the end of it. Now we're into stall mode. Kareem bringing out the hamster dance. Drops it straight on down. Roki to half. That's 1-2. Izzyaki tries to stall, but he's just is cut through very quickly. With both teams finishing the map, again, I remind you, the potential for a draw is definitely there. We'll have to see, though, if that will be the case, or if one of these two teams will be able to cut through the mix. Guys, hang around. This has been quite the match. See you in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tense situation here. The Valiant are trying to stay alive in this series. If they lose this map, they cannot take a series win here. But we've had one playthrough for both sides on the attack of Horizon. Both have completed the map. 45 seconds separate these rosters, Matt.
But both of these teams with a really good understanding of how to force, the ultimate advantage in their favor, what they need to invest on their side and what they need to see the other team reacted to invest to get the advantage. We'll see now Toronto with only a minute to attack. If you're gonna run Moira, you probably just want to fight on the point. Use her just raw healing output. Just kind of put you over the edge.
Which means that the Defiant probably don't want to take a fight out in the open for too long, but Fate is kind of trying to force that issue, saying, oh, I know you're playing Reinhardt right now. Remember what happened last time? Fate hung around and the Reinhardt damage managed to take over, but look at the damage. Envy's so low. Aid as well, down to half.
Yeah, and look at his ult charge. He's gonna have primal range.
Right now, perfect timing as well. This could get nasty. If you're squeamish, look away. Yakpung missing. Kareem traded out and Fate still trying to look to get more value out of the primal range with the Coalescence. Very timely from Aid. It won't be enough, though, to keep Ivy up. Aid still requires line of sight like all other support ultimates. But Toronto have the players on the point. They get that first tick. That could be very important. Keep an eye on that progress now. The Valiant have to push in. Even without all their numbers, they need to make the difference now. They take their time, they regroup, they push in, they force the Defiant away, and Toronto are now going to reset themselves.
And they back off the point for a second as Envy gets a touch because you do have players coming back here. For Toronto, you're going to have a self-destruct as well.
Everyone's back. Both teams have 6 players now returning from spawn. Self-destructs go across the point. Who's this better? Envy comes out on top in that one in a big way. Spicy and Agilities are both down. Stella's more than happy to get up in the face of the Valiant with that Zarya projected bubble. And Aid will continue to dish healing from the backline. Kareem caught in the grab. Custom now. He and Fate have to do it. And they go in alone. Izzyyaki's caught back in the corner off screen. He's just trying to give the healing. He gets Roki as an exit kill, but unfortunately, he probably won't have another opportunity to come back and continue fighting. Aid with the Coalescence now. He's not going to need it. And the Defiant take point A. That's huge when it comes down to these tiebreakers, Matt.
And that's where having the Moira is huge. Just able to provide so much healing on the point there. Aid with another Coalescence. And now if you're Toronto, I mean, if you get point B, great. If not, I mean, you're still looking good to win the map.
Might be go time here for the Defiant. Slow but steady. They know they have time. They just need to stay on the point. Coalescence out from the point. That helps take down Agilities. No shield can protect you from the damage that Aid is dealing right now. And healing at the same time to his teammates. Multi-purpose. Kareem takes himself down with his own right click. And it's a disaster for the Valiant. They were trying to hold on. They had the numbers. But the Defiant managed to accrue enough ultimate abilities in the previous winning fight to run over the top. Izzyaki has to commit. The Transcendence now in space. Yell be healthy for the time being, but Izzyaki eventually has to come out of the Iris, and he does in the worst way possible. The Defiant, what an attacking rush! And that may have sealed the deal, Matt.
And it's so hard to lose Agilities at the beginning of that fight, because when the Coalescence is coming down, it goes through the shield of Reinhardt, so Fate's taking damage, and you don't have any burst heal outside of his repair pack to heal anybody up. So when you lose him, you lose all sorts of burst heal. You don't have anything else to really keep Fate alive. You start losing players one by one. It's a replay of how Fate ended up, Kariv ended up taking himself out towards the end.
Yeah, so, I mean, this happens. He gets hit, tries to right-click Yagpong, but there is splash damage from his right-clicks. Xayah's often used that ability to give them bigger jumps. You can obviously right-click the ground and it propels you up a little bit, but it does damage.
There's nothing really, I mean, Kariv could obviously either use the primary fire, but in that situation with the game moving that fast, there's nothing you could...
I mean, you saw the sound barrier. Kariv had that extra overshield provided by Custer, but the Defiant waited it out just long enough. And this could be, as far as cheese is concerned, the creme de la creme. Have a look at this.
So Bastion, as immobile as it gets, but at range against the Reaper, if they're going to run Reaper, right, can just shred through. You don't have a Diva with Defense Matrix to get it in his face. If this is what happens, it could end up forcing, let's say if the Valiant come out and they say lose first fight, do you have to now switch off of Space and Kariv, flop those two players, and sort some things out? So Achilios is probably scouting here.
He has to, yeah. He'll go forward on the Sombra, and the Valiant don't really change tact too much. Now the thing is, again, if the Valiant get too close to Ivy, their faces are going to get melted faster than an Angus Young guitar solo.
They're going back to change now.
Kariv, it's fine. He's fine. Okay, yes, people like damage dealers. Kariv on the Hanzo. It's time! And it better be good. The Valiant only already have one shot at this map, especially with the time they spent switching up.
Look, I mean, a hack onto somebody like Space or Fate, and they end up dropping, and you're looking at the map pretty much. I mean, you do not have a ton of time to really poke and prod here.
I mean, Fate is... He goes on the endangered species list instantly. Any tanks, Ivy just melding them away. Roki speed boosting, of course, that Bastion. Holden to keep Fate in place. Dangerous for the main tank of the Valiant.
And he got hacked. Nothing he can do. Can't get out of that situation.
Scant seconds remain. 33 of them to be exact. The Los Angeles Valiant require their ducks to be in a row before they can make what I would consider to be a rather complicated push. Agility's careful. He's low. Ivy with a bit of self-heal, and it's time for tank mode configuration. Ivy has that.
And they're playing the Sombra to the right here of Ivy, so if anyone tries to dive him, they're just going to get hacked from behind.
Last chance to loon the series. Hacked to the balance. Yakpum goes down. Kariv finds it, but Mercy resurrects people. That's right. She brings them back to life. 6v6 now, and Ivy's trying to find some burst damage here with the tank mode configuration. Space was able to deal with Stella. He got desuited and still was able to find it, but now Ivy sets up in the back corner. Agilities needs the barrage. He gets it. It's a trade. Aid finds him, but now the Transcendency is on the point. The Defiant have the players to work with here, but there's so much damage. Izayaki, the savior for the Valiant. He's sitting in the corner. No one noticing him as he continues to put out huge numbers in damage, and the Valiant managed to break down the difficult composition thrown in front of them by the Defiant. They got rid of the Bastion. Stella will just tickle here, but it's unlikely he does anything to stop them. Oh, it's game on.
I was wondering if you stay off the Bastion here. 4.2. You have the Valiant with 20 seconds left. They're going to go with the Winston version of the 3-3. Stellar with this EMP.
Here's the issue, man. The Valiant cannot draw this map.
And they have no support ults here, too. I mean, do you think they're going to walk into like an EMP self-destruct and just get crushed?
I mean, there's very little the Valiant can do. They cannot draw this map. If they draw this map, they don't have enough maps really left to the series to push it all the way. They can take it to map 5 if they do that, but yeah, they walk in and they just get run over the top of. Getting it done on overtime is an option for them. That's their only one right now. But look at the hack on towards Fate. He tries to push across. Custer steps up. Toronto just had all the right answers here. Custer will get cut down to size. He's hacked from behind. He can't even give that healing that is needed. Look in the corner. Kariv is waiting, but he's too late. Too little. And the Toronto Defiant will take map number 3. This means the Valiant cannot win this series. We have one more map because differential is important. But the Valiant continue winless.
Yeah, Toronto just looks like a very strong team. Underdogs coming in here in this match and in this season, but just a well-coached group here, you know, led by Bishop, right? You know, formerly London Spitfire. He puts this team together. They have a ton of talent. They're playing the game the right way now.
One more map to come. A bonus, if you will. See you in just a moment.